You can use Clingfilm with watercolour paint to create an interesting range of textures and surfaces, from ice to the bark of trees to mountains. In this short video I'm going to show you how to prepare your paint and how to apply the Clingfilm. Once it is dry, I will then go on and show you how to create an interesting abstract painting using the patterns that you have created with the Clingfilm. First of all, you must make sure that you have everything ready. I have my Clingfilm here, the colours that I've chosen, 3 brushes, one especially a wetting brush, my palette and 2 pots of water. First thing I'm going to do is tear off my Clingfilm to a larger size. I have also stretched my paper to avoid the usual coupling problems. The colours I have chosen are cadmium orange, nice bright strong colour, Windsor blue, green shade. I'm putting out quite a lot of paint so that I have ample to add to the paper to make a nice bright image. Opera rose, perylene green, and lastly some chrome yellow, which I shall put in here. I'm now going to just loosen the colours with a little bit of water. So I'm just making it nice and loose, something like that. Pushing the brush between each mix. It's important to make the colour quite strong because, as you will see, the Clingfilm is inclined to take off some of the brightness of the colour. Perylene green here and some Windsor blue here. So nice big pools of colour. First thing I'm going to do is wet my paper nice and thoroughly with my mop brush. So I'm just wetting all over. So, and I'll just look down at the side and check to see that I've got it wet all over. What I'm aiming for is for the colours to mingle and mix themselves into wet fashion on the paper. So now I'm just going to quite randomly put in the colours, lobbing in some lovely, lovely strong cadmium orange. You see how wet it is, how it's flowing beautifully. I'll then go on and use some of the yellow, chrome yellow here. And the edges should be nice and fuzzy, indicating that the paper is thoroughly wet. I'm then going to go on with a opera rose. Splash that on, letting the colours mix. Make sure you've got the paint really moist and you don't get sticky bits of paint on your paper. Just like that. And then finally, not finally, some Windsor blue. Colours are mixing together and producing some interesting variations, and then right at the end I'm going to add a little bit of dark. You can see why I recommended making plenty of paint, because it runs out quite quickly. Put in here, colours are still mingling, so I'm very happy with that. Just going to add, I think, a little bit more of the yellow just up here, and then I'm going to get my Clingfilm and I'm simply going to lay it over the picture like this, and then just squish it around and merge it, making all sorts of interesting geometric shapes on the surface like so. I'll just lift that out, put it in there, like that, squidge it together. As you get more practice with this, you can really control these lines to make, as I suggested, ice or tree bark or mountains. But for this example, we're just going to put it down and see what happens. The cling film now is doing what it was intended to do, and it's keeping the paper moist, as it does with food. This means it'll take a fair bit of time to dry. So now what I have to do is go away and let it dry in its own accord. Not fiddle with it, and definitely not peep under the corner of the paper to see what's happening. If you take it off too soon, the colours will just run in and merge together. What we want is for all these little shapes that are beginning to appear to actually stain and remain on the paper. It's now about an hour later, and I'm going to lift off the cling film, having just taken a sneak peek underneath to make sure it's dry, and yes, it looks as though it is. So I'm just peeling off the cling film, and I've got a lovely array of colours and shapes, some very beautiful shapes and textures here, which you might just be able to see if I hold the board a little bit closer. So some lovely, lovely shapes around here and around here. The cling film has lifted off a little bit of the paint, as you can see here, which is why I recommended putting the paint on nice and thickly. The paper is still a tad damp, I can see that because there's a little bit of cockling still going on. So now I need to let it dry completely, and what I will do is then show you how to just play around adding little snippets of colour to make an interesting abstract. Now that the picture is thoroughly dry, I'm now going to paint in some of the little geometric shapes that have been formed with the texture of the cling film on the paper. It's entirely random, so you can paint where you like. The only rule I have is I'm not allowed to put the same colour on top of an existing colour, therefore I can't put orange on top of orange. So let's see what happens. Choose a little bit of the pink. I'm just going to pick out, glazing a little bit of pink over the very, very thoroughly dry blue with my little brush. You can make it stronger or lighter, and just work your way in amongst the lovely textures created by the cling film. Very neatly, it's really quite absorbing and time consuming in the very, very best sense of the word. So I'll move on to a little bit of blue, and I'll put a bit of blue. Oh, let's put a bit of blue over here, over the yellow. So we're learning a little bit about how glazes work as well. Glazing one colour over another. And providing the paint has been allowed to dry very thoroughly, the colours won't move. Let's put a little bit of blue over this one. See what happens with the Windsor blue over the Peroline green. That gives quite a nice colour. It's got a bit of the green and a bit of the pink showing through here. Orange. The orange I use, cadmium orange, is quite opaque, so I need to be a little bit careful about putting it on thickly because it will take over, given half the charm. So making sure I put it on fairly thinly. Neatly going in there. And I can put a little bit more orange on. Let's say I'll put some orange in over here. lovely texture shining through the slightly transparent yellow there. Oops, a little bit more water and try a little bit more used all the colours, so I might go back for a little bit more pink, and just let's put a little bit more pink just over that bluey yellowy colour in there. Of course the shape will show up more the stronger the colour. And what I'm doing is I'm just accentuating the crinkle of the paper, but it makes quite a pleasing pattern. Blue one over the space over here. I'll put my hands on the blue. I'll put another bit of blue. Oh, let's go right up. As you can see, the whole process is sort of slightly guided by one or two rules, but in the end you can do what you like and just have a little bit of fun. So you can carry on and on till you've coloured in most of the shapes, or you can reach a point and you think, actually, I think I'll just stop here, it looks nice. Thinner bit of orange, a little bit of red up there. That blue at the moment is shouting out a little bit, so I'm going to put a little bit of the red or opera rose next to it, like so, and I might even go ahead and put a bit more yellow in down here. So what you can see is beginning to happen is that the way I'm putting the paint on, finding all the shapes, is beginning to accentuate the lovely textures and movement created by the Clingfilm. It's entirely up to you how much you want to do in with this. You can either stop at some point having just put in a few colours, or you can carry on till you've coloured the whole picture. It's entirely up to you. I've just got a couple more examples here. This is one Clingfilm picture that I've used with blues, which gives you a very, very sort of icy, colder finish, which can work very nicely, giving all the idea of cracked ice on maybe a frozen lake, which works well. And then the other one is using some greens, and I've teased the Clingfilm into longer strips like this with a variety of greens, which gives an idea of grass, which I can then paint on and draw out some of the long shapes created by the Clingfilm to reinforce that grassy feel. I hope you can have some fun with this, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much for watching.